Hey guys, welcome to Huss Nation. This is episode number 10, where I give you guys tips and tricks on the home buying and mortgage process. Today we're going to talk about renting versus buying and what to look out for on that. So first we'll go through a couple of the pros for renting and why it might be a good idea. So one would be the landlord is going to pay for any repairs or any big expenses that come up with the property. So if there's any type of roof damage, any type of termites, anything at all that's maintenance or anything that comes up, that is up to the landlord, and usually the tenant, they can repair it and they'll get either something back from the landlord, or it's just the landlord's responsibility to get someone or to have, get them to fix it themselves. Another option, another pro to renting is usually rentals. There's lots of options in each city, lots of different either apartments, different rental houses, townhouses, condos. So depending on obviously the city you live in and where you work, you might have more flexibility. If that was a major thing that you wanted to do is live close to work, you'll have a lot of different options that you can choose from as well. Also with renting, it usually is a little bit cheaper per month for the monthly cost. So your rent is usually going to be cheaper than a mortgage depending on the price of the house. So some of the negatives to renting is that you're not building equity over time. Usually, obviously, if you buy a house, you get a 30-year loan or mortgage on it. At the end of that 30 years, you will own the house and you can sell that house for money. Now, if you're renting for 30 years, that rent does not go towards anything. It just goes as an expense towards your monthly, living expenses. So there's no ownership aspect. There's nothing that you can have at the end of it for when you rent. Also, another advantage, or I guess advantage for buying, but really a disadvantage for renting would be that there are some deductions on taxes that you can use depending on your state, and obviously federal taxes. So the big ones with the house would be any mortgage interest, and then also sometimes the property taxes, depending on your state or county, can also be deductible. Obviously, if you're renting, you cannot deduct your rental expense every month, unfortunately. So that would be a negative as well. Next, we're going to talk about buying. So a couple pros to buying is when you buy a property, you actually own the house and then also the land below it. So this is good because most of the time it's not when a house goes up or a house goes down. It's not the actual house valuation, it's really just the house and the land. So that's why a lot of realtors or people in general talk about location. You could have a super nice house in the middle of nowhere and it's worth $100,000, or you could have a super nice house in the middle of the city and it's worth $500,000. So the house itself, as far as the roof, the doors, everything as far as materials go, is the same. The land, though, is what is usually the driver of the valuation, and that's where things can go up, or in some markets also go down. And also, too, you can use that property, since it is yours, to rent out to renters. So this could provide monthly income or a stream of income for you renting out the house. And I knew they do have like a sublease that you can do as well. But usually for long-term investment, you want to own the property and take care of that. So some of the negatives for owning a house would be a lot of people really just can't afford it right now. Especially with home prices where they're at, as they've gone up quite a bit since 2008, since the last recession. So for example, a lot of people right now in California, the average purchase price is about $600,000. So to get a loan on that and to get everything financed, you need to make at least an income of about $143,000, $144,000 a year. And a lot of people out of college right now, or just workers in general, cannot afford that. So that's one reason, especially in high-cost areas like California, they're either moving away or they're just renting because they can't afford it. Another con would be that if you own the house, you're going to have to take care of all repairs and all types of maintenance. House, it's a little bit harder to move or to get out of that mortgage or to leave. Obviously, with a rental, your lease is over, you move out, you're done. When you sell a house, it takes a little bit longer. You obviously have to put it up for listing to sell. Sometimes it might take a month or 2 or 3 to get a purchase offer, and then another month or so to get that closed. So sometimes the timing, it does take a little bit longer, and also sometimes, again, if the value goes down, then you might have to eat that cost if it's worth less than when you bought it for. So again, quick recap for this. So renting in general, usually you have more flexibility. Usually it is a little bit cheaper, and it's better for people who don't have long-term plans or aren't sure or aren't ready to buy a house and can't afford it. But it's more of a short-term option just in general. And then buying, obviously, if you want a more long-term option, or if you are looking to stay in a place for a long time and can't afford it, or think it's also a good investment, that would be a good time to buy a house. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. We try to put these videos out every week. If you have any questions or comments, please do leave them. I get back with them as soon as possible. Like and subscribe our YouTube channel, Instagram, and if you have anything you need at all, please feel free to reach out at my personal email, ryanmhusser@gmail.com. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye bye bye. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Ain't no